Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Improve Your English, the podcast that helps you learn English through natural conversations. I'm Amelia.
And I'm Michael. Today we're talking about something we all deal with every day here in Austin: transportation. How do we get around this city?
Right. And Michael and I have very different approaches to getting around Austin. I'm a car person. I drive everywhere.
And I'm the complete opposite. I rely on public transportation, walking, and my bike. I don't even own a car.
Really? That's so interesting. So let's dive in. Michael, tell our listeners, how do you actually get around Austin without a car? Like, what's a typical day like for you?
Well, it really depends on where I'm going. For work, I usually take the Metro Rail. That's Austin's light rail system. It runs from Cedar Park down to downtown, and my office is right downtown, so it's perfect.
Oh, the Metro Rail. I've seen those trains, but never been on one.
You should try it sometime. It's actually really convenient. The ride takes about 45 minutes from my stop, and I can read or listen to podcasts during the commute. Plus, I never have to worry about finding parking downtown.
Parking. Don't get me started on parking in downtown Austin. It's such a nightmare.
Exactly, and it's expensive too, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. I probably spend like $20 to $30 a day just on parking when I drive downtown. Sometimes I'll park in a cheaper lot further away and walk, but in the Texas heat, that's not always fun.
Right, the heat is definitely a factor. But what about when you need to go places that aren't downtown? Like, what if you want to go to South Austin or somewhere the rail doesn't go?
That's a great question. For me, that's where having a car is just so much easier. I can drive anywhere in Austin in maybe 30 minutes, depending on traffic.
Well, when there's no traffic. But that's the thing, Austin traffic can be pretty brutal, especially during rush hour.
Oh, absolutely. I-35 is like a parking lot during rush hour. Sometimes it takes me an hour to drive what should be a 20-minute trip.
See, that's why I like public transportation. When I'm on the bus or the train, I don't have to stress about traffic. I can just relax, maybe catch up on some reading. For places the rail doesn't go, I use the bus system, Capital Metro.
How reliable are the buses? I always worry about being late if I depend on public transportation.
That's a fair concern. The buses can sometimes run a few minutes late, especially during heavy traffic. But they have this great app called Cap Metro that shows you real-time arrivals, so you can plan accordingly.
That sounds helpful. What about costs? I'm curious, is public transportation much cheaper than driving?
Oh, definitely. I have a monthly bus pass that costs about $41. Compare that to gas, car insurance, parking fees, maintenance. I probably save hundreds of dollars every month.
Wow, that is a big difference. I never really added up all my car expenses. Between my car payment, insurance, gas, and maintenance, I'm probably spending like $600 a month.
Right, and that's not even counting parking fees.
Exactly. But I have to say, there are times when having a car is just so convenient. Like last weekend, I wanted to go to IKEA, and I needed to pick up some furniture. There's no way I could have done that on the bus.
That's totally true. For big shopping trips or moving furniture, a car is definitely necessary. When I need to do something like that, I usually rent a car for the day or ask a friend with a car to help me out.
Oh, that's smart. And what about ride shares like Uber and Lyft? Do you use those much?
Sometimes, yeah. If I'm going out at night or if I need to get somewhere quickly and the bus schedule doesn't work, I'll use Uber. But in Austin, especially during busy times like South by Southwest, those rides can get pretty expensive.
Oh my gosh, South by Southwest. The prices during South by Southwest are crazy. I've seen $30 rides for what's normally a $10 trip.
Exactly. That's when public transportation really shines. The buses and trains don't do surge pricing like the ride shares do.
That's a really good point. Now, I'm curious about biking. You mentioned you have a bike. How bike-friendly is Austin?
Austin's getting better with bike infrastructure, but it's still pretty challenging. We have some nice bike lanes downtown and along some of the main roads, but there are still a lot of gaps in the network.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Some streets have great bike lanes, and then suddenly they just end.
Exactly. It can be pretty frustrating. And then there's the heat issue again. In the summer, biking in Austin can be really tough. I usually only bike in the early morning or evening.
That makes sense. The summer heat here is no joke. But what about those bicycle stations? Have you used those?
Oh, you mean the bike share program? Yeah, I've used those a few times. They're convenient for short trips, especially if you're already downtown and want to get to another part of downtown without waiting for a bus.
That sounds pretty useful. Talking to you is making me think maybe I should try using public transportation more. What would you recommend for someone like me who's used to driving everywhere?
I'd say start small. Maybe try taking the Metro Rail downtown for a weekend outing instead of driving. Download the Cap Metro app first so you can see the schedule and real-time updates.
That's good advice. And what about walking? Austin seems like it could be a walkable city in some areas.
Downtown is definitely walkable, and areas like South Austin around South Lamar and Barton Springs Road are pretty pedestrian friendly. But Austin is still very much designed around cars, so it depends on where you are.
Right. I've definitely noticed that some neighborhoods are more walkable than others. What about the environmental aspect? That must be a factor in your transportation choices.
Oh, absolutely. That's actually one of the main reasons I don't own a car. Transportation is one of the biggest sources of carbon emissions for most people, so using public transportation, walking, or biking really reduces my environmental impact.
I never really thought about it that way. But you're right. One bus carrying 30 people is definitely better for the environment than 30 individual cars.
Exactly. And even if the bus isn't full, it's still more efficient than individual car trips. Plus, as more cities invest in electric buses and trains, public transportation becomes even more environmentally friendly.
That's really interesting. After our conversation, I'm starting to see some real benefits to your approach. Maybe I should give the Metro Rail a try next time I go downtown.
I think you'd like it. And hey, if you do try it, let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear about your experience.
I definitely will. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today, no pun intended. We've talked about the Metro Rail, buses, biking, walking, ride shares, parking challenges, costs, and environmental considerations.
Right, and I hope our listeners learned some useful vocabulary and expressions about transportation. Things like rush hour traffic, surge pricing, bike infrastructure, and real time updates.
Those are great examples. Before we wrap up, any final thoughts on transportation in Austin?
I just say that every city has its own transportation personality, and Austin is definitely evolving. The city is investing more in public transportation and bike infrastructure, so I think it's only going to get better for people who want alternatives to driving.
That's a great point. And you know what? Maybe the best approach is having options and choosing the right transportation method for each situation. And speaking of the city evolving, I'm curious about something. Have you noticed any changes in Austin's transportation over the past few years?
Absolutely. Flexibility is key. Oh, definitely. One big change I've noticed is the expansion of the Metro Rapid Transit system. They added the Metro Rapid lines on Lamar and Guadalupe, and those buses come much more frequently than the regular buses, usually every 10 to 15 minutes.
Well, that's all for today's episode of Improve Your English. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. That does sound like an improvement. I've seen those red buses around town. They look more modern than the regular Capital Metro buses.
Exactly, and they're much faster because they have dedicated lanes in some areas and priority at traffic lights. Plus, they've been adding more bike lanes along those routes too. I've also seen more electric scooters around the city, though I have to admit, I'm not sure how I feel about those.
Until then, keep practicing your English, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, the electric scooters. Those are everywhere now. I see people riding them all over downtown, and honestly, they look kind of fun. But I've also seen some people riding them pretty recklessly.
Yeah, that's my concern too. I've tried the scooters a couple of times, and they're actually pretty convenient for short trips, but some people don't wear helmets, and I've seen scooters left in really inconvenient places, like blocking sidewalks or bike paths.
Right, the parking situation with those scooters can be problematic, but I guess they're another option for people who want to avoid driving. What about ride sharing? We mentioned Uber and Lyft earlier, but have you noticed any changes there?
Well, ride sharing has definitely become more expensive over the years. I remember when Uber first came to Austin, rides were really cheap. Now they're often more expensive than a taxi used to be, especially with all the fees they add on.
That's so true. I used to use Uber all the time when it was cheaper, but now I really think twice before booking a ride. Sometimes it's almost as expensive as taking a taxi to the airport.
Absolutely. This conversation is really making me reconsider my transportation habits. I think I've been stuck in the mindset that driving is always the most convenient option, but there are clearly benefits to exploring alternatives. And that actually makes public transportation even more attractive by comparison. When a bus ride costs $2.50 and an Uber costs $20 for the same trip, the choice becomes pretty obvious for routine transportation. Well, that's all for today's episode of Improve Your English. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Next week, we'll be back with another episode. Until then, keep practicing your English, and we'll see you next time. Bye.